This is Senior Support on your TV. My name is Debbie MacDonald-Moyens. I'm the host of the show. I'm also the Executive Director of the Prince Edward County Community Care for Seniors Association, and I'm a community co-producer of the show. Now, the other community co-producer is Shelley Wirt, and Shelley is Executive Director for Community Care for South Hastings. Today, we have with us a Reiki Master, Karen Williams. Welcome, Karen.
Well, thank you so much, Debbie. It is a pleasure to be on your fabulous show. Thank you.
Well, we'll see how fabulous it is. We'll do the best that we can today. And, really pleased that you were willing to come on the show and tell us about Reiki. Why don't we start right at the beginning, Karen? Why don't you just give us a short overview of what is Reiki?
Well, in a nutshell, Debbie, Reiki is energy healing. So Reiki is Rei, which means universal, which is the spiritual dimension of the soul, and Ki means vital life force energy, which every living element possesses. And so really it's channeling the life force energy through the practitioner to the recipient.
Interesting. Years ago, my mother was involved in something called therapeutic touch.
Yes.
Is there a connection between the two somehow? It sounds
There's
like it.
they absolutely, they are very similar. But Reiki is more the channeling of Reiki energy. So it is healing energy. You cannot hurt anybody with it. It is not about religion or dogma or anything at all. It is just simply the harnessing of and channeling of that healing energy to the recipient.
Mm-hmm. So there must be some particular benefits of it for people to take it up the way that they do. I know other people that have been very involved with Reiki.
Yes, and it's growing in popularity. The great news is, Debbie, that a lot of hospitals, like many hospitals for years, so even Princess Margaret here, but definitely the Mayo Clinic, the Cleveland Clinic, Johns Hopkins, and several other Canadian hospitals actually include that Reiki therapy in their patient care programs because there are no contraindications. It can be used with, traditional medicines, etc., because it really is just energy. And it can also be done, typically we do it with hands on. We go around the body to certain areas, and what we're trying to do is unblock the chakras or energy centers of the body, and because we want to let the energy flow so that we're reducing disease, we're supporting the parasympathetic nervous system so that the body can relax, recover, and heal as much as possible. And so because of its gentleness, so you can have hands on or hands off. It doesn't, we don't have to touch, which is great for anybody who is uncomfortable with hands on, or could be in some pain and it's just not appropriate to touch an area, especially with open wounds, etc. So I mean, it's been practiced for ages, and it's becoming more and more popular, and people are taking it up, as you said, Debbie, because it is easy to do. Anybody, absolutely anybody, can channel Reiki. You don't have to be, it's not magic.
Well, I understand that you're a Reiki Master teacher,
Yes.
Karen. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But let's just stick with what it's good for. And I understand it also can really help with stress.
Definitely it can. And because it does, it's very, very calming. And, I've had many clients who are sort of, a little skeptical, and that's okay. I welcome that. And, once they're on the table, so you would lie on a massage table, you would lie on your back, you remain fully clothed. So, you don't need to worry about any of that. If you're chilly, we have blankets, etc. But, it's just easy to do. And it once they're on the table, and it's like, okay, my hands are placed on them, it is immediately relaxing. And sometimes it can just be, the initial relaxation is just having, a human touch, that can be very calming.
I can imagine that might be helpful for people with a dementia, because often they're in an agitated state. And how do you calm a person in a state like that? It sounds like Reiki might work then.
It does, absolutely, Debbie. It is amazing for anyone, with any Alzheimer's or dementias. It it is especially effective in the earlier to mid, because once someone has, sort of start to approach, phase 5, 6, 7, it may be difficult. Although I have worked on some clients, and but it's very calming. And sometimes we can't get them to lie down because they are in a state of busyness, and so it's even if they're just sitting in their bed or their wheelchair or just in a lounge chair, it's just as easy for me to come and place my hands wherever I can kind of get a hold of you. So because the Reiki, it's about intention as well, and my intention is, I don't know what, that's the one thing we don't want to say what we're trying to heal, because we don't know what the person's highest and greatest good is. So I know that's where we get really spiritual, but my intention is that it goes to where it needs to go and they receive what they need to receive. So whether they're lying down and we're doing a formal hand position, or if I can just get them even for 10 minutes, which sometimes then it's like, I had one woman, "That's nice, dear." I don't know that she was aware of what I was doing exactly, but she just said, "That's nice, dear," and then she got up and off she went. And I thought, well, that's a compliment. So